So just to recap how to expand double brackets, this is when we have something added to something else, all in a bracket, multiplied by something else added to something else, which is also in a bracket. This means that all of this stuff in the first bracket is being multiplied by all of this stuff in the second bracket. So the way to do it, if you have, I've got all these curly lines and numbers all over the place. What it's trying to say is that in order to get it out of the brackets, in other words, to expand it, I multiply A by C, and so I get AC. Then I multiply A by D, so I get AD. Then I multiply B by C, and I get BC. And I multiply B by D, and I get BD. And some people expand it like this. They use a kind of a grid. It's just another way of doing the same thing as what I've just done. They write the terms inside the bracket in each part. So we've got an A and we've got a B. So this bit at the top represents the first bracket. And the second one we've got a C, and then we've got a D. And this could be our first term. This could be our, well, actually, okay, this is our first term, then this is our second term, and then this is our third term, this is our fourth term. So you've got A times C, AC, A times D, AD, B times C, BC, and B times D, BD. I'm doing the same thing, it's just that I'm not putting it into a grid. But if it gets tricky, feel free to use the grid if you find it helpful. And over time, you can reduce a lot of these kind of support systems and do more and more automatically and in your head. But I just want to also sort of emphasize what this means when I say y plus 3 multiplied by y plus 5. Let's imagine that y is equal to 2. Then y plus 3, it says y plus 3 would be 2 plus 3. This is if y is 2. And y plus 5 would be 2 plus 5. Again, that's if y is 2. So instead of writing y, just like the below bit, I'm writing the number 2. And that would be the same as 5 times 7. 5 times 7 is 35. So presumably, if we expand all of this out, then we would get 35 if y was 2. So we'll check this in a moment, but let's just see how I've expanded this. So the first term was this multiplied by this, so y times y is y squared. The second term was y times 5, which is 5y. The third term is 3 times y, which is 3y. And the fourth term is 3 times 5, which is 15. These two terms can be grouped together. 5y and 3y can be added together to make 8y. Later on, in other examples, we have a minus, and in those cases, you do negative x plus 5x, and that would actually equal to 4x. But in this case, they're both positive, so we just add them together and we get 8y. Now let's see if we still get 35 in this new version of the equation. We should do. If we don't, it means we've not done it right. So, and this is also a good check if you've got the time when you're playing around with this stuff to see if you've done it right, because you just give y a value or give x a value and see if in both cases you get the same answer. So in this case, I got 35. Do I get it the same in this case? Well, so I'm doing, this is the bit below in case when you look back it gets confusing. So if y is 2, then it's going to be 2 squared plus 8 times y, it's 8 times 2 plus 15. Now 2 squared is 4, 8 times 2 is 16, and we're going to add 15. Okay, so it's looking good actually, because 4 plus 16 is 20. And then we're going to add 15. And 20 plus 15 is 35. So we see that this version of the equation is just the same as this up here, at least for when y is 2. So it could have been a coincidence that I just happened to pick a number that works, but you'll just have to trust me that it'll work for all numbers. So we're going to have a go at some more. We had a go at these ones last lesson, and you did these quite well. You didn't make any mistakes, but don't worry if you make a couple of mistakes at the beginning of this lesson, because it's been a few days since you did it. So hopefully that video will help though, and I'll stop it there and put it just up here.